Croydon was one of the first boroughs where universal credit has been rolled out, so we've had longer to see what a total and utter disaster it's become. I've had a long and growing stream of people coming into my office, many of them close to tears, because universal credit has forced them into debt, made it harder for them to stay in work, or left many of them facing eviction for rent arrears. Our local council has had to spend £3 million so far to stop people being evicted because of late payments for rent. Local food banks are running out of food because of the vast increase in people who are having to go there going hungry because of what the government scheme has done to them. And over 1,000 tenants in Croydon now have rent arrears of over 3 months and are at risk of losing their home because of the failures of universal credit.
Do they agree with me that one of the problems, certainly not the only one, one of the problems, though denied by ministers, is problems with the IT? The IT for universal credit isn't yet working properly.
It's extraordinary. I absolutely agree with my honourable friend, and he makes a very important point. I cannot for the life of me understand why the government insists on ploughing ahead when it's quite clear the IT system isn't fit for purpose. They should pause it, they should fix it before they inflict this damage on any more people. Again, according to my own council's figures, a tenant on housing benefit, the previous legacy system, had an average rent account that was £42 in credit, in balance. Under universal credit, for those people that have moved onto that system, the average tenant has a balance £722 in arrears. This is supposed to be a system that is helping low-income families, but instead it's forcing them into debt and it's forcing them out of their homes. I'd like to share just a few short examples from my own casework, and I suspect across the course of the afternoon we will hear many, many more. But I had one constituent come to me £1,400 in debt and 2 months in rent arrears because of errors with universal credit, and she had no money left to buy food to feed her family or to heat her home. Another was a mother of 5 children, and she was left waiting 9 weeks for her payment. She works part-time and is desperate to keep working. She wants to do exactly what the government tells her she should be doing, but the new system has let her down and it's pushed her into debt. And a pregnant mother with 2 young children came to see me. She wasn't eating properly because of debt, posing a serious risk not only to her but to her unborn child. She had no option but to take out several high-interest payday loans and has been threatened with eviction because of underpayment. Now, it's outrageous to leave anyone in that circumstances, leave alone a pregnant woman. I'd like to raise a particular problem that's affecting severely disabled people, because universal credit doesn't include a severe disability premium. And this is despite the Work and Pensions Select Committee raising concerns about precisely that earlier this year, but the government has as yet done absolutely nothing. Under the current system, a person with severe disabilities receiving income-related employment and support allowance with a severe disability premium would get £172 a week. Under universal credit, that is cut to just £146 a week. Now, I became aware of this from the Citizens Advice Bureau, who referred to me the case of a claimant with severe mental ill health who moved onto universal credit when he became liable for housing costs. The effect was that he lost over £100 from benefits that covered his living expenses with no transitional protection because he had a change of circumstances. And when you have so little income, that scale of financial loss is utterly devastating. Exactly. Now, universal credit is an unmitigated disaster for hundreds of the most vulnerable people living in Croydon North. If the rollout continues before the system is fixed, those hundreds will become thousands. People just can't cope. What kind of system is it that penalises the poor and forces people out of jobs, onto benefits and into food banks? The Secretary of State and the Minister, who's here today, must do what this House has instructed them to do when we voted on it recently. They must pause and fix this system before it devastates any more lives.
Michael